I decided when I retired that there was some unfinished business I really needed to see through.
Right.
Frankly, the whole way in which we quantify, measure lighting and apply the technology in lighting just misses the point that we provide lighting for people. And until we get a really sound basis that relates people's response to lighting to the quantities, the technology is irrelevant to the process of design. The assumption that was made early on that the purpose of lighting is to illuminate visual tasks so that people can work productively, efficiently and economically is simply not a sound basis for us providing lighting in this day and age.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Virtual Lighting Design Community podcast. In our third episode, we have a very special interview lined up for you. We had the privilege of speaking with Dr. Christopher Cuttle, who was one of the keynote speakers at the prestigious IESANZ Light in Focus event held in Sydney, Australia back in June 2023. The Light in Focus event brought together industry luminaries from around the world sharing their expertise and insights. It was an incredible platform for networking and knowledge exchange. As an event partner of the IES, the Virtual Lighting Design Community had the honor of being part of this extraordinary event, capturing unforgettable moments and indulging in enlightening one-on-one interactions with these revered experts. Dr. Cuttle is a renowned figure in the lighting industry. With his vast experience and deep knowledge, he has contributed immensely to the field. This interview with Dr. Cuttle promises to be an illuminating discussion on various aspects of lighting design. We would like to take a moment to thank our premium supporters, Aero Light, Creative Lighting Asia, ERCO, and the Signify Lighting Academy for the continuous support of our platform. Their commitment helps us bring you these valuable interviews and insights. Remember, you can watch the actual video version of the interview on our platform by visiting members.vld.community or by checking out our YouTube channel. We are excited to bring you this interview with Dr. Christopher Cuttle, so let's jump straight into the episode.
My name is Marnik Klaassen and welcome to our Virtual Lighting Design Community. We are at the IES event in Sydney and I have the pleasure to be interviewing Kit Cuttle. Kit, welcome.
Thank you very much.
So who is Kit and what does he do in his daily life?
Well, right now I'm a retired academic, and I decided when I retired that there was some unfinished business I really needed to see through.
Right.
Frankly, the whole way in which we quantify, measure lighting and apply the technology in lighting just misses the point that we provide lighting for people. And all the standards we are working to seem to be all about illuminating a light meter. They're not about providing lighting for the benefit of people.
Yes.
We're just off target.
We don't design for lux meters.
Well, that is it. And until we get a really sound basis that relates people's response to lighting to the quantities, the technology is irrelevant to the process of design.
Yep.
And we need to stand back from this and get it sorted. Since I started on this, there has been coincidental with me, as my input, has been a distinct growth in people studying lighting in order to be able to make this relationship. And in particular, the assumption that was made early on that the purpose of lighting is to illuminate visual tasks so that people can work productively, efficiently and economically is simply not a sound basis for us providing lighting in this day and age. generally speaking, if something's hard to see, a way of either making it easier to see or making it unnecessary to see is instituted. And what really matters is that we applied our technology to enable us to reliably meet our expectations for people's response to their surroundings and their environments. That is what we need to be doing.
That was also the topic of your presentation, basically,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So how do you feel people are responding to that?
Well, in actual fact, I've been quite amazed because it involves a complete turnaround in so many aspects. The type of lighting that is seen to be efficient, by which people put in regular arrays of downlighters, and then that's simply because measuring illuminance on the horizontal working plane is the standard that people seem to have feel that the standards require people to achieve. And as I say, the whole practice has developed to illuminate a light meter. It's got really nothing to do with how people respond to their surroundings, and the role that lighting can play in not just making things visible, but giving some value, giving some intent, and making places work visually, and so that people can, the lighting actually transforms people's experience of their surroundings. That is what we need.
Lighting is very transformative in a way, for sure. Now, the main theme of this event here is what's next in lighting? What's the future? What's the next big thing that you can see? And you've come from so long ago, so it has happened so much since the early days of incandescent and fluorescent. What's the next big thing from your perspective?
Well, as far as the technology of lighting is concerned, this doesn't seem to, it just seems to be driven very effectively and very efficiently, because the amount of innovation that has occurred with light sources and controls in particular has been remarkable, and the industry is doing a splendid job of bringing all the advantages to us. What is not developing is development of applying this for the benefit of people. Of course, there are gifted lighting designers who do this very efficiently and very well, but the actual proportion of installed lighting that is designed by these people is tiny. I want to get to a situation where it just becomes the normal practice for somebody, whoever designs or puts together the lighting installation, to stop and take a good look at this, thought about the place, and come up with a solution that actually relates to the specifics of that location. As it is, standard lighting designs are simply rolled out. I was introduced to this myself because I spent the first 6 years of my life in lighting working for a lighting manufacturer, providing a so-called free service to people who got in touch with the company, and I know perfectly well how it is done. You just take space after space, you work out a grid, you sort out the luminaires, you do a calculation to work out the lamping to go into it, get this drawn up, send it down to sales department for pricing up, out it goes to the client, and you move on to the next job. I was very good at it, actually. They were very disappointed when I left them to join a young architect called Derek Phillips, who was setting up Britain's first architectural lighting consultancy practice. He had a successful architectural practice, by the way, and he had one other guy who was working on lighting. I became the second one. Now, of course, that's DPA Lighting Consultants, an international organization that was won awards all over the place. Yes, Derek was the person who first started me thinking about how you apply lighting. specifically to applications and come up with lighting that really works for locations.
And look where that brought you today. Now,
But you see, what I want is to get to a situation where the sort of person who is employed to do the job I was doing will be able to look at that position and say, I can do a bit better than this. I can do more. I can make the lighting work for these people. And until we have a change in the lighting standards, which will lead to changes in the recommendations, and leads to people having metrics that actually relate to the visual experience. So that we can say that yes, there are standards that have to be met. We can't expect standards to vanish and disappear, but the standards absolutely are such that if you design lighting that people are going to respond to well, it definitely will comply. As it is, that simply is not the situation. Uniform illumination of a horizontal working plane is got nothing to do with a satisfactory human response.
standards has to go along with the change that's happening over time as well, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So we talk a lot about artificial intelligence nowadays with all the new things coming in. Does it ring any bells for you, or is it like far from my bed?
I have not the slightest doubt that it won't be long before somebody comes up with a situation where you just feed in the dimensions, surface properties of a space, tell them what category of activity is going to be there, and a lighting solution will just come rolling out. The point is that I would hope that it's going to be a long time before human thought is completely cut out of the process, and you can't do better than by getting somebody who is thoughtful, someone who is imaginative and has a bit of experience to get in and do the job.
I mean, I'm still somebody who likes to sketch and have a pen, but a lot of people nowadays, they're all computer bound and they only can do something with a computer. So it's the same thing. We're moving into this virtual, artificial world and think, what will be our role in that, right? Now, you have contributed to our virtual lighting design community platform with a very interesting talk. Tell me about your experience doing it in this way that we can record your thoughts and then disseminate it amongst our members in the community.
Well, I have to say that I gained a lot from catching other people's contributions. I gave my own contribution, and it sort of goes out into a void, and I don't know how people responded to it. That is the difference between doing it that way and coming to a conference like this, where I can just come out, and as I'm getting my lunch or getting a cup of coffee, I'm meeting people and talking to them and getting their feedback. I could see the huge value of being able to have international events and where so many people can come together, could all be done over the internet. But
there's still that human, personal interaction that's so important.
Aspect that is lacking I do feel. Maybe the answer is, in actual fact, to have a combination of these two things.
That's what This is the face-to-face.
Right. The days when we could just keep jetting about the place, yes, we do have to take a more responsible attitude there. But if we just come down to a few of these events where we travel to, but we still get to exchange thoughts and ideas using the internet, so that we don't have to go long periods between getting some interaction with other people. We can keep this on a much more frequent basis, but possibly we do meet other people a little bit less frequently.
Yes, that's right. Now, you have been around for so long time. What still gets you out of bed in the morning? What drives you? What's the passion that gets Kit Cuttle doing what he's doing?
Well, one of the things I think is getting old, I don't sleep anything like as long as I used to, and I tend to wake up quite early in the morning, and I get fed up with lying in bed and decide I want to get up and do something. My wife, she still sleeps well, and so we've had to come to a little bit of a compromise. But in actual fact, before breakfast is one of my prime times when it's absolutely quiet. I've often been lying in bed for an hour or more thinking about what I'm going to do, and I can get down to a bit of good writing then. But really, the whole of the business of seeing this lighting design objectives procedures is a thing that, yes, it has made retirement definitely not a boring time of my life, because I have been I'm just amazed in actual fact at the response that's occurring there, and how even the people who write the lighting standards, who I've always thought of as being very difficult people to approach or to influence in any way, are in actual fact taking interest and noting this. We can't go on like this any longer, pretending that the sole purpose why we provide lighting for is enabling people to perform difficult visual tasks efficiently and comfortably. No. We absolutely have to break away from that, and I think I can see a lot of signs now.
It's happening.
Of this happening. Yes.
Now, one last question. We're all now in a period of change with the new, the smart world coming to us. If there's one thing you could change right now, if you had the ability to change something, what would that be?
Lighting standards.
Lighting standards.
The whole business of doing a job where the engineer in charge who comes round and checks that the air conditioning, the ventilation system, the noise control, the sound system and the lighting are all working properly and in accordance with local standards, even if they're not mandatory. They have to be signed off by an engineer who pulls out a light meter, holds it about waist high, wanders around the place and just sees that the numbers pop up in accordance with the standard. And this is just so frustrating to someone who has designed a distribution of light that really works and relates to a space and makes it come alive.
There you go. Things for you to do still things that. Kit, thank you so much for this very nice discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin.
And that brings us to the end of another insightful episode of the Virtual Lighting Design Community podcast. We hope you enjoyed our interview with Dr. Christopher Kit Cuttle, a true luminary in the field of lighting design. We value your feedback and would love to hear your thoughts on this episode. Let us know your comments, your questions, or your suggestions by leaving a message on our website or by reaching out to us on social media. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with the latest episodes and interviews with industry experts. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more enlightening conversations. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Virtual Lighting Design Community podcast, and until next time, keep shining bright.